All right, you have gone to the parts store and you've looked in the book and found the correct number oil filter for your car. And you've looked in the book or asked the guy behind the counter and found the right amount of oil for your car. And now you want to know how to get this and the oil inside your vehicle. Okay, we're going to show you how to change oil today. I have this car up on the lift. Not everybody's going to have a lift, but this way I'll be able to show you a lot quicker and a lot easier where everything is and how to get this done. So first off, you're going to need your oil filter and you're going to need some oil, of course. Preferably, you're going to need some kind of a drain. This is just a big extended oil caddy so you can reach up underneath the car. But, you know, a bucket, old milk jug, anything will work perfect. Let's get underneath the car. Once you've got it up on ramps or you've got it jacked up, this is going to be the underneath of your engine compartment. This is what all that looks like underneath there that you can't normally see. Okay. Most cars, and I say most because not all of them are going to be this way, but most cars are going to have the engine drain plug on the passenger side. On the passenger side. The driver's side, this is going to be your transmission or your transaxle. On your passenger side, this is going to be your engine oil pan. You're going to want to look for a bolt that looks like this. It's most of the time is going to be your engine oil drain. And sometimes it will say it on the oil pan. This one doesn't. Sometimes they will. Not all of them. So we need to get this guy out. You need to figure out what size wrench it is. This one just happens to be a, I don't know if you can see that or not. That one's a 15 millimeter. There you go. 15 millimeter. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there. And you want to turn that bolt counterclockwise. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Let's break that guy loose. Okay. Let's get our drain pan underneath here. We're going to raise that drain pan up real quick. Okay. We have our drain pan underneath our drain plug so we can catch all the oil coming out. Let's go ahead and remove that plug all the way. See if I can show you what's going on. We're just pulling that plug out. Let the oil drain out of there. And okay, there it goes. You're gonna want to let all the oil drain out until there's hardly anything coming out of there anymore. It'll turn into a slow drip. So just go ahead and let that drain. While you're down here, you can go ahead and check everything else out. You can come over and look at your CV boots right here. This rubber boot shouldn't have any cracks in it. Look at your tie rod ends right here. Make sure these rubber boots are good. If you can see your brakes, you can go ahead and look at your brakes in there. Check the other side out. Tie rod end here, boot's good. Your CV shaft boot looks nice. These are quick little things you can check, you know, while your oil is draining. Just get a good view of your car underneath. Make sure nothing's hanging. The oil's almost done draining. It takes a minute or two. It takes a little bit. Almost done. That leaks pretty good. I forgot to mention, when you do pull the drain plug out, it's handy to hang on to it in your hand. You know, try to pull it out really quick. This catch pan makes it really easy because it can just fall in here and the oil drains away from it. But if you're using a bucket, this is going to go down into the bucket and you're going to have to stick your hand in the oil to get it back out. So try to hold on to that guy if you can. It'll keep you from making too big of a mess. Let's get that back in. To tighten it, you would just want to turn the bolt counterclockwise. Get your wrench back out, the appropriate size. Get that thing nice and snug. Pull on it good and tight. There we go. Let's clean all this oil off so we don't have a mess down here. Okay, and let's go ahead and drop this car down and I'll show you where the oil filter's at. Okay, there are a lot of cars that have an oil filter underneath the vehicle. I should say there are a lot of cars that have an oil filter that you can get to from underneath the vehicle. This particular car actually has an oil filter that you have to get from the top. It's right there. You're going to need to put that catch band back underneath the car to catch the oil from your oil filter. So let's go ahead and put that guy underneath there. That should be directly underneath where your oil filter is. And now we can go ahead and pull this oil filter off. Sometimes if they're tight, you're going to want to have an oil filter wrench. They also sell these at the same place that you got your oil filter and the oil from. So you might want to think about picking one of these up if you're going to do your own oil changes. You're going to want to turn that oil filter the same way you turn the drain plug to get the drain plug out of the oil pan, counterclockwise. Okay, got that guy loose. Be careful because your engine could still be hot at this point. See, there's the oil coming out of the oil filter that we wanted to make sure and catch. You don't want that running all over the ground. Make sure and dump the oil out of your old oil filter. We've got our new oil filter here. That was the correct number for this vehicle. Okay, you can see the oil filter has an O-ring that goes around the outside. This O-ring is made out of rubber. You're going to need to put some engine oil, either used or brand new, on this O-ring before you put it back on. That will help this oil filter come off the next time. If you don't put oil on here, this thing is going to get locked on the engine pretty good, and you're going to have a hard time unscrewing it. So you can just get some oil off of where the oil filter was mounted to the engine. Let's see. Let's get a little more. Okay. Put that oil filter back on. They can kind of be of a pain getting them threaded back on there, so just be patient. Once again, watch the heat coming off the engine. Don't burn yourself. Okay. Once the oil O-ring of the oil filter makes contact with the engine block, you want to turn it about another 3/4 of a turn. So you can just make a line on the oil filter, you know, either with a marker or just visually mark it, and turn that 3/4 of a turn once it makes contact. That's all you need to do. Any more than that is kind of unnecessary. Okay, I've got this far. I've drained the oil. I've got my new oil filter on. What do I do next? Where do I put the oil? Well, you're going to look for a cap that says SAE 5W30, SAE 5W20, and sometimes it'll tell you the name of the oil. This cap is always going to be on top of the engine. Just look for this sign. That's an oil bottle with a little oil drip coming out of it, and then it'll tell you what kind of oil to put in it. This is where your oil goes. Give that guy a twist off. The oil always doesn't go in all at once, so sometimes you might have to pour it slow. Just watch down in the hole. Make sure it's all going into the engine. And that's it. This guy right here is going to take about 5.5, maybe 6 quarts of oil, so 6 of these bottles. Once you're done putting your oil in, put your cap back on. Check my other videos if you need to find your engine dipstick. Start your engine, run it for about 30-45 seconds. Let's pull that guy out. You're going to want to check this, and after you shut your engine off, of course, wait a couple seconds. Just make sure that your oil is within this crosshatch mark. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, and feel free to let me know what you would like to see me do next. Have a good one.